Authorities in the Bahamas arresting FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried after the U.S. filed charges against the disgraced crypto boss.
The criminal charges filed were reportedly wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, securities fraud, and conspiracy to commit securities fraud, as well as money laundering.
The former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried was arrested Monday in the Bahamas. In a complaint made public Tuesday morning, the SEC accused Bankman-Fried of defrauding investors. So, what are the charges against Sam Bankman-Fried? What happened with FTX? And how will this FTX fraud affect the crypto future? Are you curious to know? Well, look nowhere else, as today, in this video, Mark Yusko covers all these points where he discusses the SEC, Sam Bankman-Fried's fraud, his arrest, and how all these could affect the future of Bitcoin. Before going ahead, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more latest updates and news on crypto space.
I have nothing but the utmost respect for the SEC. I think up to this point, and I will say up to this point, and particularly under Jay Clayton's leadership, they were measured, they were consistent. They consistently said, this is not a security, this is not a security, these other things may be securities. I thought they did a great job. They didn't come out and say, oh, everything's a security. They didn't say, oh, we're going to try to ban it like China did. So I actually think the SEC has done a really, really good job up to this point. But there's something funny about two kids with no experience and clearly no ability to run this complex business. Then turning out that half of it, like half of the companies that Alameda invested in, Michelle, are shell companies owned by SBF 100%. Like that's a funny thing. That's when I make an investment out of our venture fund, I don't own any piece of them ever. That would be a total conflict. So the fact that half of the 400 companies are shell companies that he owns just seems odd. And the other thing that's odd, I've been doing venture capital a long time, 35 plus years, got the white hair to prove it. Never, not once have I ever seen a situation where a person invests hundreds, $250 million in venture funds, and then the venture funds put $150 million into that person's company. Maybe it's happened and I just didn't see it, but I've never heard of that ever.
So, the federal charges, unsealed Tuesday morning, include multiple counts of wire fraud and conspiracy related to the collapse of his cryptocurrency exchange. According to the SEC, he raised more than $1.8 billion from equity investors, including $1.1 billion from about 90 U.S.-based investors, and that he spent years hiding risks from them. Now, SBF faces a total of 8 counts, including wire fraud on customers and lenders and conspiracy to both defraud the U.S. and violate campaign finance laws. The court documents also accused Bankman-Fried and FTX of failing to accurately account for the value of FTX crypto assets and of disorganized management of FTX cash holdings. Let's see what Mark Yusko has to say more on FTX fraud and the crypto ecosystem.
That I used to cringe when the government types would say, Bill Gates would say this, and Bernanke would say it, and Yellen would say it, and all these people would say, crypto is only used by money launderers and terrorists. And I was like, no, it's not. It's a tiny fraction. I had no idea they had inside information, that they were the ones doing the laundering with crypto, right? Wow. So that is money laundering, full stop. And there are other examples in that list of companies that are clearly money laundering.
So who do you think, if we're going to talk about this then, who do you think was on the receiving end of this money laundering?
Politicians.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems abundantly clear that's where the money went. So, and
again, this is just speculation, to be clear and to be fair. This is just speculation and putting together some interesting pieces connecting the dots. There's no hard,
It is speculation, but again, there is evidence that very large sums of money went to political candidates.
Yeah, that we know.
There is evidence of him saying that he was going to give $1 billion in the next election, right? He's on record publicly multiple times saying, I'm going to give $1 billion in the next election.
You see, FTX was one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges before it collapsed last month. Bankman-Fried resigned on November 11th, and FTX filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. And Mark believes Sam was not alone, and that many other people and organizations were involved in all this. But SBF keeps saying that he didn't commit fraud at all. Well, his arrest tells another story now. So, how does all this affect the crypto? Is Bitcoin still a future of money? Let's go into the next clip to find out more.
Okay, he can say, I didn't know I was doing it, but the facts are less than $1 billion of assets, 10 billion of liabilities. Where's the money then, Sam? Remember that Chapter 11 is not final. Chapter 7 is final. Chapter 7 is liquidation. Chapter 11 is restructuring. United Airlines, bankrupt twice. Lots of companies, the automakers, General Motors, bankrupt. Doesn't mean you stop driving cars. Doesn't mean you stop taking airplane flights. This doesn't mean we're going to stop using crypto. Doesn't mean we're not going to have exchanges and lending institutions. These companies will restructure. Maybe some of their assets will be sold in bankruptcy auctions, and they'll get merged into others. Maybe one of the big institutions will buy some of the new technology. But 11 is not the end. It is a new beginning.
Right.
And Will Smith said it, and I know Will Smith is not popular, but he was very cool when I was growing up, and I still admire him.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
And he said, "Fail fast, fail forward." So it's okay to fail, but you got to get up. And back to the last quote, right? Knock down 7 times, get up 8. We're going to get knocked down, and we're going to get beat up, but we're going to, as an industry, we're going to keep moving forward, and we're going to make progress. And this technology is inevitable. It is the future of finance. It is the future of money.
Mark Yusko is confident that no matter how much hailstorm hits the crypto space, Bitcoin is still going to be the future of money. Do you agree with him? When will this crypto winter end? What will happen to Bankman-Fried now? And how will all of this affect Bitcoin and other cryptos? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. For more updates, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. I'll see you guys in my next video. Adios, and thanks for watching.